Like, why did I do that?
Because you're a young punk.
Yeah.
Since Agatha is the first live-action Marvel character who doesn't have her own comic book, what was your process to figure out your character?
You're right. She really is scattered throughout all these comics. Our producer, Mary Livanos, gave me a huge binder with a photocopy page of every time that she was in a comic. So I was able to kind of like put those all together with Jac's amazing script guiding the way on WandaVision, and it just also continued into this show. It really was Jac's brilliant creation of this Agatha that tied all of that together.
You can't really prepare for this kind of show because there's nothing like it in the MCU. Like, it really is its own thing, and I think there's a beauty to that because you can just create whatever character you want to live in this world.
Yeah, the research was Jac's scripts themselves, you know, that's all the information that we had.
And I didn't have to do anything because Sharon knows nothing. So it was just a dream. It was a dream
Debra
job.
Jo phoning it in as per
a
usual.
dream job.
A party? I'm gonna grab my purse.
What's great about Teen is he's so mysterious and there's so many layers to him. The Teen of the first 4 episodes is not the Teen of the last 5 episodes, which is really fun to play. He's such an arc in the show. He really goes on a journey, which as an actor is a really like satisfying thing to be able to play.
Who are you?
I'm
Interesting.
Agatha is the first Marvel character to have a show who doesn't have their own comic book series yet.
Oh my God, I love that yet. I didn't even think that we could manifest a comic for Agatha. Ugh, let's do that. Sorry, please continue.
I think
That's great.
they need to get you on that.
Yeah.
Whenever we start on a new project, I find it especially to be my role to make sure to read all the appearances of that character that I can get my hands on to help advise throughout the development process. Because everything that we take in, the comics, other film references that we love, it all goes in the cauldron as we create a wholly new original story. There's no real map that you can find in the comics, so there will be plenty surprises afoot.
I really felt that we had the latitude to generate her story because she's a character that doesn't have her own comic. It didn't feel like we were beholden to any canon other than in the comics, she is a mentor, which we really feel like is the spine of her like purpose on the planet. But beyond that, the sort of details of her past were ours to develop. So in the writer's room, it was a lot of what is her past, what makes sense, how dark do we want to go, how light do we want to go. It was a really good time sort of unpacking all of that. And then as far as research, the research that we did was much more about witchcraft. We did a lot of research on the history of witches and witches in pop culture and like contemporary witchcraft. And that was a lot of fun, mostly because I didn't do it myself because I'm not a research person, but my writers did. And so I would, have them come in and do presentations. So they'd come in and do a presentation on potions. And we had an interview with an actual practicing witch. And all that stuff was like so fun and just soaks right into, what the show becomes.
From that research, was there any like facts that you really like sparked for you?
So many things. I mean, there was a lot of like the sort of kind of cuter stuff of like, Eye of Newt is actually mustard seed. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of sort of the like herbology stuff that there are all these sort of fancy terms, but it's really one-to-one because what's behind that is nature is magic. So that was kind of the lesson over and over again is like these things that we're pointing to that are magic actually exist in the natural world. And that's the truth of witchcraft. So that kind of stuff was delightful. But then, in speaking to this witch, one of the things that she told us is about how like magic takes the path of least resistance. And so like you have to be very careful with the spells that you cast because like if you're not precise, like magic will just like do the thing that's easiest. So careful, careful. And we were like, ooh, let's put that in the show.
Does this look centered?
Let me see, maybe if I just put it a little more to the other.
Another aspect that was so fun to watch was just your perfect comedic duo. How did you guys find that?
Yeah, I think it was pretty natural.
Yeah.
I think also we didn't shoot the show chronologically, but because it was episodic, it was sort of helpful in that our relationship blossomed as Agatha and Teen's relationship blossomed, and as we got more comfortable with each other was the more like difficult scenes to film. It
kind of worked out perfectly. Yeah, we just kind of had it.
We did.
From like the first time we met or said any words together. It was like, it felt very natural.
It was really incredible to see the chemistry between Kathryn and Jo blossom. When we were trying to cast the role, we brought in Jo to do a chemistry read with Hahn, and serendipitously, they were wearing the same shoes. They were giddy and cute together right off the bat, but the scene that they did together was really deep, and Hahn gives so much, and he's able to go toe-to-toe with her. I'm really excited for folks to see more about his character and more about their relationship.
Darkest hour, wake thy power. We get those really great singing and performances with all your characters, and we got to see that at D23 too. What was memorable about getting to do those performances together?
The first time we sang the chant was really like a bonding experience because we were just getting to know each other, and it was so vulnerable because we all had to sing by ourselves.
Yeah, and everyone was so supportive, and it felt like a really magical moment. I feel like the energy was so strong, and yeah, that song really did create a bond for us.
And it was my first time meeting everyone.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to it and thinking, oh my God, did they hire singers?
Who was the best, Debra Jo? Who was the best?
You were the best.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The Ballad of the Witches Road, I can tease, plays a very important role over the course of the show. And we hear it in many different iterations. So when we cast the Coven, we very much were looking for performers who would be able to belt it out and bring some of their own talents to the performance of that. And we were just really lucky in that, you know, Ali On is a classically trained pianist. Sasheer Zamata has like an incredible voice. Jo has the voice of a Disney prince. I'm very excited for people to hear it. Now he's been on Broadway, it's very exciting. Patti LuPone, national treasure, legend. And Hahn just has an incredible voice too, and is an incredible rock band lead singer. So we're very lucky in that our Coven is just incredibly talented.
I directed episode 2 where they sang the ballad in the basement, and I feel like all my organs moved around. Like it was so big, you know? It really did feel like a spell was being cast. And the way that I like to direct is, you know, I really like to kind of like hold my actors, both like energetically and physically. And so when I think of that day, like this is the gesture that I think of, because, and they were all like standing like this, like it's sort of like, you know, like just a big bowl of like feminine energy and, you know, uterus bowl. My sense memory of it is I just remember hugging them. Like I was just like all day, like they would sing and there would be hugs and they would hug each other, and it was like exultant.
Debra Jo, you've had many iconic roles. Is there a quote that fans come up to you and want you to do?
They all want the kitty laugh. That's what they want, yeah.
It's fun!
I got stuck with that thing. It shot out of me one day, and then I had to do it for 8 years.
I came up with that.
No, I don't mind it. It put her on the map. I mean, thank God she is written as a lovable character. You know, I can't imagine being mean. I can't imagine what that would be like. Out in the grocery store. That can't be fun.
People might leave you alone.
Well, yeah. But I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. I have one of those faces, no one recognizes me, but if they hear me talk, then so it's really kind of up to me.
Have you ever disguised your voice?
No, because what is that? Oh my God, that would be awful.
Oh, now I want to hear you try.
Can I have some milk?
Yeah, you still sound like you.
I know, right? Only lower.
Yeah, you sound like you.
With so many iconic on-screen witches, was there any that you looked to for inspiration?
That I aspire to be?
Yes.
Sharon probably would have liked to be Glenda the Good Witch. I think she would have enjoyed that, maybe just for the outfit.
Or do you think she wanted to be Dorothy?
No, she would want to be a witch.
I mean, honestly, I feel like the part of what's so great about the show is I think it points to the fact that there's kind of a witch in everyone. So I don't think I really drew any inspiration from witches per se, and more just sort of digging into the human aspects of the character that I could relate to. That's sort of what I focused on,
Yeah, with these characters, you see that there are so many different types of people who can be a witch. Like, anyone can be a witch. So I think it was actually in service to our characters to play it the way we would play it, as opposed to trying to emulate anything else.
The Wicked Witch of the West is an incredible touch point for us, as is The Wizard of Oz. The Witch's Road is a journey like that where each character is seeking something that they are missing. At the end of The Witch's Road, if you survive, you might be able to get whatever that is. And because each of our witches is so different, what that is can also change over the course of the show.
I think that Melisandre from Game of Thrones, I just think she's a bad bitch. Is that an okay thing to say? Like, I'm just like, woof. She is hardcore. So she's one I enjoy.
For the night is dark and full of terrors.
Continuing off of WandaVision, you get to play with genres even more. So was there any genres that you were excited to now get to explore?
I really enjoyed our sort of cabin set. You saw Agatha afflicted by something quite evil in that set, and just the incredible special makeup effects, the incredible stunts that we did. It's a hilarious but terrifying episode that I think fans will be really stoked to see.
You know, the true crime, like prestige genre moment at the top of the show was so much fun. As a viewer, I love murder shows and mystery shows like that, but I struggle with like the violence of it, and I struggle with like, why has it gotta be a dead girl every time? And like, she's so pretty, everybody's so interested. Like, and so I don't really wanna make one of those shows because I kinda don't wanna be a party to that sensationalism, but I admire them. And so like, I got to do it, but not do it. I feel like I pulled the biggest trick over everybody to like be able to like make one of those shows, but not make one of those shows. So that was a big favorite.
Another beautiful day.
Each witch has her own special power. What's a special skill that each of you have?
I can solve a Rubik's Cube in 90 seconds.
Whoa.
Yeah, I
It's
feel
my
like
little
I've
special
seen
skill.
it.
I learned because a guy at school once told me I wouldn't be able to do it. So I'm the kind of person that then I went home, taught myself how to do it, came in the next day, did it, and smacked it on his desk and was like,
Ooh!
like, why did I do that?
Cause you're a young punk.
Yeah.
I would kind of fake special skills on the bottom of my resume. I wouldn't know what to
Horse
say,
riding.
so I'd be like, yeah, yoga. Like, as if that's a special skill. And then, like, really didn't know any poses. Painting.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, oh, please
Don't
don't
make me.
ask to see me painting in real life.
Has there been any where they were like, oh, this is listed on your resume? Like, do you know how to do this?
driving with a stick. That was not fun. Oh. But I was able to, I kind of figured it out in a week. I had a crew guy take me on some runs.
That's good.
Yeah, but same like you, I was like, I gotta be able to do this. It was in Tiny Beautiful Things.
Oh,
I had to
okay.
drive a truck, which you didn't see anything below.
But now you can drive stick.
But now I can drive stick. I was like, why do I need to drive stick?
I have really great spatial awareness. I'm really good at organizing things and like seeing a space and being like, I know exactly what can fit in that space. Like packing groceries in a car or something, or like luggage. I'm really good at that.
Oh, wow.
I pride myself on it. I'm really good. Not everyone's good at that.
My friends tell me I give really good advice. So if you need some help in your life, come to me.
I really like puzzles. I like puzzles.
Yeah, Debra Jo, you're good at math.
I'm good at,
Yeah.
I like puzzles, like logic puzzles and things like that. I like stuff like that. Yeah. I didn't say I was good at it, but
She actually is
I
good at
enjoy it.
I do have a witchy skill. Actually, over 10 years ago when I was interning at Marvel, at the same time for fun, I was learning how to read tarot cards, which I like to do as a fun party trick with friends or family, and those skills actually came into play in the development of this show. We have some tarot cards happening. I fancy myself a little bit of a witch myself. I enjoy crystals, I enjoy the tarot cards, I like the mysterious and the unknown. So witches, of course, are totally my bag.
Looks like you've got your coven.